welcome to my channel. My name is Andrea and today I am sharing some fun boho DIY decor using items that you can find at the dollar store. So let's get started. This DIY is a macrame leaf wall hanging. I'm using cotton twine from Dollar Tree along with this mustard colored yarn and a navy blue yarn. To hang up this wall hanging, I'll be using this wood dowel from the dollar store. I measured 2 strands of the yarn that are 3 meters long each. I'm folding each of the strands in half and placing them on the wood dowel, and I'm tying each of them into a lark's knot. To make the lark's knot, tuck the folded part of the strand behind the dowel and weave the tails of the strand through the loop and pull tight. Now I'm tying half square knots down the strands. Take strand 1 and place it over strands 2 and 3 and under strand 4. Now take strand 4 and place it under strands 2 and 3 and up through the loop formed by strand 1. Continue repeating these steps, always starting with tucking strand 1 over the middle 2 strands, and you will soon see a spiral shape start forming. At a certain point, you will see the first strand no longer lays flat as it's starting to really want to twist over to the other side. Once it's really twisty, just rotate the strands in a circle so the one on the left goes over to the right and the one on the right moves to the left. Then continue the same pattern as before, creating all the half square knots. Continue making the spiral strand until it's the length you want it to be. At the end of the spiral strand is where the leaf will be hanging from. I made each of the strands slightly different lengths, so all the leaves will be at different heights. Now for the first macrame leaf. I'm cutting 26 strands of the yarn into 25 centimeter pieces. The length of these pieces depends on how large you want your leaf to be. Move the strands on the left and the right out of the way for now, and it's time to make the leaf. Fold each of the 25 centimeter strands in half and place one underneath the 2 long strands. Then take another folded strand facing the opposite way over top of the 2 long strands and weave the 2 folded strands together. Pull them tight together and push it up to the top toward the spiral section. Continue this with all the strands, then we will form these into a leaf. Now that all the strands are tied on, I'm unraveling each of the strands by pulling them apart. I'm pulling the 2 long strands on either side down to the rest of the strands, then trimming them to be the same length to fit with the leaf shape. And I'm making sure to pull apart those strands as well. Now that all the strands are pulled apart, I'm brushing through them to make it even fluffier. I am trimming the bottom and the sides of the leaf, but I found it's much easier to cut the leaf shape later on, so stay tuned for that. I'm not going to show the rest of the spiral strands and the leaves in detail because they're the exact same steps as the yellow one I just showed you, but I did want to mention that I made my strands all different lengths and the leaves different sizes. I can put all the exact measurements that I used for all my different leaves in the description box below, just in case you want to recreate this exactly how I made it. I finished all the leaves and arranged them all on the wood dowel. I have this can of aerosol hairspray and I'll be using it to help form the leaves into the shape I want. I'm covering part of the leaf as I'm spraying so all the yarn strands don't get blown around. And I'm using my hands to smooth down the hairspray and form the yarn into a leaf shape. Now that the leaf is much more stiff from the hairspray, it's a lot easier to trim it. Here is the finished macrame leaf wall hanging. I love how customizable this is. You can choose any colors you want. I really like these neutral boho colors. They actually have a bit of a fall vibe. And of course, you can play around with the lengths of the strands and the sizes of the leaves, but I love how this turned out. Today, I am so excited to be partnering up with my friend Kimo from Kimo Craft. Kimo is an amazing crafter on YouTube. He does a lot of high-end modern decor, including amazing dupes that look so expensive on a budget. Today we're both creating modern boho DIYs, so I'll have a link to his channel and his video below. Make sure to check it out and let him know I sent you. This DIY is a set of DIY boho paper palm tree leaves. I'm taking this craft paper from Dollar Tree and I'm cutting it into an 8.5 inch by 11 inch rectangle. I'm now sketching out a leaf shape onto the paper. It's kind of like a really wide teardrop shape. And now I'm cutting it out. Now I'm folding my leaf shape in half and I'm making sure it's even on both sides by cutting off the excess. I'm folding the paper leaf accordion style, starting from the middle and going to one side, then starting from the middle again and folding the other side. I tried starting on one end at first and folding it, but the lines ended up crooked, and I found it's much easier to get nice straight fold lines if you start in the middle, right down the center. I'm making another leaf the same size, but the style of this one is going to be a bit different. All the initial steps are the same, cutting it into the wide teardrop shape, then folding it in half and folding the whole thing accordion style back and forth, starting from the middle. Now that I have my folded leaf shape, I'm taking scissors and cutting slits down the fold lines of the leaf. I'm going down a couple of inches. I'm not measuring how long to make the cuts, just whatever feels right. You'll see this totally changes the look of the leaf and it gives it a different shape, even though the only thing we're doing differently is cutting slits into it. For my third leaf, I'm doing something totally different, but first I'm going to attach some bamboo skewers to these two leaves. I'm using hot glue and sticking the skewers right in the center of the leaves. The exact placement of the skewers depends on where you want the leaf to sit once it's in the vase. I want the bottom of the leaf to be pinched together, so I'm hot gluing the folds of the leaf together until they all come to a point at the bottom. I cut a thin strip of craft paper and I'm hot gluing it around the base of the leaf. This just gives it a much more finished look. Now for my third leaf, I'm cutting out a square piece of craft paper that is 10 inches by 10 inches. I'm folding it in half into a triangle, then folding it accordion style, starting with the long edge. I'm folding this in half so all the accordion style pieces are together. I'm cutting it in half at the folded section, and now I'm hot gluing a bamboo skewer in the middle of the two sections. I'm pinching the sides all together to cover up the skewer. To make this look less like a tree and more like a leaf, I'm pinching the bottom sections together the same way I did for the previous two leaves, hot gluing all the folds together until they come to a point. I cut another strip of craft paper and I'm wrapping it around the base to finish it off. Here are the finished paper palm tree leaves. There are so many different shapes and styles you can make, you just have to play around with it. This vase is from a previous DIY where I used paint mixed with baking soda, and I thought it fit the boho vibe of the paper leaves perfectly. If you made it to the end of this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you're coming over from Kimo's channel, hello, thank you so much for being here. I hope you'll subscribe and stick around for more fun DIYs. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.